You already started the streaming over there. Is that right?
I thought that's what you wanted me to do.
Okay. Hi, guys. we are adapting.
Yeah.
In times of change.
Everything's changing.
Or at least we're trying to adapt in times of change.
Even Facebook Live.
Yeah. You know, we pop open Facebook today and it tells us that there's a whole new live streaming module that is completely different and complicated. So we didn't get that up and running, but we will share this to our Homesville Realty Group channel. So, hello, we've got friends on. Hey, Brooks, how are you? It's good to see you guys. We are joined today by two of our very important helpers. We are joined with Ellis and Lyndon. If y'all want to come on the camera and say hello. Did Lyndon disappear?
Lyndon's outside playing with her dog.
Okay.
Yep.
You want to come in?
We're all on spring break.
Okay, we're for an extended spring break. So anyway, what we're doing today is we're talking a little bit about the coronavirus. Can you tolerate that topic anymore? Like, you can't turn on the news, we can't turn on the internet without seeing everything about the coronavirus in this ever-changing situation. And so today, what we're doing is we're talking not about the health issues for coronavirus, because that's certainly something that we don't know a lot about. But we do know a lot about the Austin real estate market, and Paul's been doing real estate for 25 years. You can go sit down now.
And I've been thinking a lot about like how this impacts everybody's values and how the world's going to shape out as far as real estate goes. You might imagine that from a real estate guy.
Right. So first of all, I think what we want to do is we want to offer our support to everybody that's going through this, whether you're experiencing the health issues from it, you're frustrated with social distancing, you're like us, home with your kids. We're really trying to look at this as quality time, unexpected time, and kind of a gift that we get to be with our family, and then we get to dig into pieces of our business that we might otherwise get so busy that we don't have time to look at. And so this guy, being 25 years of experience, you've been through ups and downs, lots of them. You've, unlike a lot of realtors that don't have your level of experience, you've been through recessions, you've been through downturns, you've never been through a pandemic.
This is a first, for sure. It's they're all unique. 9/11 was a unique downturn, and so was 2008, and this one will be too. I'm just glad we're in real estate, and not in the stock market.
The conditions today are a little bit different. I hear a lot of people worrying that we're entering a recession and that this is going to be different than times past, and so I'm questioning what it is that you think is different about now than 2008 economically, and in the housing market specifically.
Yeah, I think there's all kinds of. I think there's two issues. There's the health fears, and then I think on top of that you have financial stuff. The stock. A lot of people have lost a lot of wealth through the stock market, and it'll be. And we're all learning how to show homes differently and operate safely, all that stuff.
Well, I was digging into specifically about what's different today than in 2008. So a lot of buyers, I think, expect that they're going to wait until a recession and be able to really capitalize on that.
Yeah.
And to some extent that may be true, but history tells us that there may be people that are a little bit disappointed if that happens. Because if you look back, and I'm not an economic expert, but I think if you look back at how our housing market has historically fared during recession periods. I think it was First American Financial Services that said that our next recession, if and when we have one, is unlikely to prompt a major downturn in housing. And part of why, and you tell me if I see it wrong, is because, yes, we've seen a lot of growth and a lot of appreciation in housing prices, but unlike 2008, that was mostly fueled by access to mortgage credit, right? And a lot of riskier loans and things were sort of inflating it. Now, what's driving the home prices and everything is really what you've been saying for the past, 6 months to a year, is supply and demand. Yeah. In that we have
very few homes available. And
lots
of people coming to town.
Lots of demand, that's right. And so it's really more about many people wanting to own a home. Supply is very low. That's driving prices upwards. So the conditions are different. The situation that we're walking into financially in the housing market, yes, we may have a recession, but where the home prices are now and everything is different than it was in 2008.
Absolutely. It's a whole different ballgame. In fact, it's novel.
Yeah. Well, and also, I mean, it's definitely the affordability has made it difficult for people to buy homes in recent times. But at the same time, it also means that people who already own a home have seen a significant amount of equity increase in their home.
Yep.
And so that's also going to decrease the chance that they're going to be underwater, that if we hit a recession, that these people are now going to be underwater because they owe more on their home than their home is valued. It's likely that they're going to have value in their home and have equity in their home.
Yeah, I think
if
so.
they had to sell.
I think so. A lot of people. It's hard. It's going to be hard to be upside down, but you never know. Like the truth is about all this, we don't know. We haven't been through it. There's a lot of things we can speculate about. I think some of the cold hard facts are here in Austin. When we're selling homes, I think you're just going to have buyers aren't going to be competing with the folks coming from California, New York, from all over the world like we've seen because of travel restrictions. So we know that much.
Well, so recession, I'm kind of trying to follow sort of an outline here because we're going to talk about if you want to take advantage of opportunities, what those opportunities might look like, right?
Yeah.
But if we talk about sort of the potential recession and the economics and what that does, we're saying that historically recessions haven't impacted the downturn of housing, but at the same time, we can't predict. We don't know for sure what that would look like or what that may be. And so in terms of the opportunities that you were starting to speak to, we've always said, buy low, sell high, get in when you can. Some people are going to want to take advantage of that. Some people are not going to want to do that in such uncertain times. So what are you seeing out there? We're not suggesting people take advantage of a bad situation, but what are you seeing and what are you recommending?
Well, I think, thank goodness we're all in real estate, or at least we're all thinking about it. People will always need a place to live. People will always need to buy and sell. I think the market will go on. It'll just be slower. But the questions I'm getting are really around interest rates. I'm not going to beat around the bush about it, but people call and they're like, how do we take advantage of it? Without saying that, but that's the second thing. And then the last one is people are concerned about how to go and look at homes and do it safely without in this brave new world.
Let's put a pin in that one.
Let's
talk about that. So one of the things I think that you mentioned the mortgage rates and and part of that also can equate into increased buying power. But it's been interesting, right? Because what was it? 3 weeks ago, the Fed dropped half a point.
Yeah.
And then we saw interest rates drop, and we saw tons of people rushing to either take advantage of the market and to buy, or to refinance. Yeah. We were one of the refinance groups, right? The difference between 4.5% and 3-something% was pretty significant.
Pretty good.
We weren't in time for that, but now I know that they're looking at the Fed has dropped it to zero.
They're fixing. So what happened when they did that first half point rate hike? Everybody went to go refinance. The people doing the refinancing just couldn't handle the volume. Apparently it was historic kind of level of things going on. And then on top of this, as the coronavirus stuff heated up, everybody wanted to be liquid. So these things called mortgage-backed securities, everybody was selling so they'd have cash, and nobody was buying, and that made rates go up. Those two things, the demand, and then nobody was buying the mortgage-backed securities. The second round, when the Fed dropped rates to zero, which are short-term rates, and that's very different than the mortgage rates, guys. But when the Fed did that, they also deployed a bunch of money to buy mortgage-backed securities. So we expect, and I think now rates are around 3.5 or so, but so that's brought it back down, and it may go down further. We just don't know. But it's all up to the investors that are selling this stuff and how they feel like the world's going to fare.
So we don't know, but so the reason we're not seeing this immediate decline in mortgage rates and interest rates is because the banks have sort of a little bit of discretion about how they play with that cut.
Right. So the Fed fund rate that you guys all hear about, those are short-term dollars and how banks lend money to each other. That's the rate that they lend money for 90 days to each other. that can help bring down mortgage rates, but it really, the people sitting back there that are lending money for mortgages, they're looking at 15 and 30-year commitments on this, so they're basing in their own risk levels that go with that. And of course, it's a competitive market, so those rates may go up, they may go down.
Sure. You mentioned less competition from out-of-state buyers. We have such a huge net migration in Austin from places like California and other states that it's interesting, this idea that for buyers that are local that have been wanting to make a change to either move up or to move down or change areas, this gives them an opportunity to compete locally without having to worry about people coming in. I mean, not that that's not happening, not that out-of-state buyers still aren't there, but we've certainly seen a decline. You had 3 buyers from out of state that canceled their appointments to come to town to look at homes recently. Yeah,
there's just less out of towners in town for this spring market, and that to me is an advantage to buyers. I suspect we'll see fewer multiple offers, but I think that's going to be on a supply demand thing. The other day I was out showing a home with my gloves on, and the house was crawling with people. Like, people were really out there looking.
Well, that was also still a little bit early. That was right before Austin had any cases diagnosed too, right?
Yeah.
You've also seen, you do your multi-unit Monday. Every Monday you send out, if y'all don't know, he sends out an update of multi-unit properties for sale in the Austin area that are good deals, meaning they
have to be able to pay for themselves, and then they also have to be in areas I like a whole lot that I feel like are going to appreciate over time.
And on Multi-Unit Monday, usually the last couple of months, you've only seen a hand,
Yeah, usually we see like 0 to 3 on Mondays. So sometimes I push those notes out later for people. But like this week we have, it was 8 on Monday. I think now we have like 10 in there. That are all pretty neat deals.
What do you read that to mean? What's that indicate?
Yeah, I'm not sure. And I feel like investors are stepping back, just like everybody was wanting to go liquid and sell their mortgage-backed securities and sell everything and just go cash. We may have some investors doing the same.
Interesting.
Just kind of a wait and see.
So is that a good time for people to take advantage of those multi-unit properties, or should they? I mean, if the investors are pulling back, what's the average buyer do?
Well, I don't know. Like, we're trying to figure that out, but I think with more properties available that are of higher quality, that changes the supply-demand curve, right? Like, all of a sudden we have more supply, at least in that category.
I mean, I think I look at it as, how are you feeling financially, right? Do you feel like you have job security and that you're going to continue to have an income, even if we see closures of restaurants and service industry professionals and things like that? Are you able to still be financially secure? And do you have cash on hand?
Well, and can you, I think this thing goes 6 months. We saw an article that was like...
Oh, don't even say it out loud.
But nobody knows how long this is going to go on. But what I can tell you is it's temporary. So if you have the wherewithal to make a purchase and take advantage of a deal, that's beautiful. Do it. If you don't do it. But
are you expecting sellers will be more reasonable in their prices and negotiations might be a little bit more flexible?
I think so. Anytime we have scary things going on, people and they get a deal, they want things to work. I think we're going to have fewer buyers out there. I think we're going to have fewer sellers, and it's going to be fascinating to see that supply-demand curve.
I can tell you, if it were me putting my home on the market, I'd be really incentivized to get it sold quickly, so I can quit having a lot of people I don't know in and out of my house.
Well, yeah, so I'd rather people sell their homes vacant if they can.
Sure. Bridge loans are helpful with that, so that you can use a bridge loan to kind of connect to get that down payment and stuff that you need to buy a new home before you sell your other one.
Yeah, I think the safe thing is to get out, but we're definitely not recommending open houses. I know some people are still doing that, but I think it's irresponsible. We want to show people one at a time. Yeah.
Well, you're getting us to a good point. So the market is, everybody's sort of in this holding your breath, sort of waiting to see. I know I certainly feel the tension and the anxiety, and I'm checking the news personally way too much. And it's changing so rapidly that you don't really ever know what to believe or can't get too comfortable. But we're definitely adapting. People are still buying and selling homes.
Yep.
We're still seeing homes come on the market.
Yep.
We're still seeing homes come out as coming soons.
Yep.
We're still negotiating and making offers. You've got a seller you talked to this morning that's going to be making repairs through Compass Concierge and putting their home on the market. You were showing buyers this week. Let's talk a little bit, though, because we're still serving real estate and we're still helping people move forward with their lives.
Yep.
But we are making some changes to limit the risk and the health risk for our clients. Now more than ever, I think we're very much focusing not only on our own health, but on the health and the safety of our clients, and things that we used to do. We're adjusting. And I think a lot of people have concerns like, well, what can and should I be going and doing, and how do I navigate in this market? So tell us a little bit about client consults. Like, how are you doing client consults right now, or what are the options for somebody that wants to visit with you?
Well, we can visit in person, or we can visit by what's it called, Zoom,
Video conferencing,
or FaceTime, or there's a lot of different ways we can.
The phone, people, old school.
Or just the phone. I'm cool with that too. Or I'm okay with in person as long as we keep our distance, and do all that good stuff.
I think a lot of people aren't going to be okay with that, and I think that we may come to a point where in Austin where we're quarantined and you're not supposed to have those in-person meetings.
Yeah.
So we definitely do. We have high-quality videoing, not evident today with our difficulty getting online and getting live, but we do have Zoom conferencing capability, a very strong Wi-Fi signal. We can connect with you guys easily at any point to answer any questions that you have. So that's one thing, right? That's the easy part. How do people see houses if they're so if we're looking to buy, how do we adjust for someone that's looking, wanting to look at homes?
Well, there's so for international buyers, which we've had quite a few over the years, we've been doing, a lot of times we'll do FaceTime calls, and I turn the phone around and I'll do a private virtual tour for you, and you can ask me to, show you this and show you that again, and those are pretty cool. And,
you're responding to the request in real time. You're like, open that closet. Is that a soft close cabinet?
Yeah,
get out your tape measure, Paul. How wide is that doorway? Right, you're absolutely able to do things with a virtual tour to let people see stuff. We're also seeing, and something we're going to be doing is that you'll see more of these 3D Matterport or other different companies out there that do these 3D tours that will allow you to actually look at things in person,
cool.
kind of look at the nooks and crannies of how things function and move through the space. So absolutely, virtual tours and virtual showings, we've been doing those for years and happy to continue doing those. Yeah,
and I think that Matterport thing, it's not a stock tip here because I'm not a stock guy, but I bet that goes up in value.
For sure. Yeah. What about in-person showings? Are you still doing in-person showings?
Yeah. We started doing in-person showings with Coronavirus needs in mind, and it's been fun to try and figure out how to do this and keep me safe and keep.
Only you would think this was fun.
Well, it's like a video game. Like, how do I make sure the bug stays away? So the way, you want me to talk about the way we do it? So I usually get to the property first, of course, because I'm an early bird, and I get there, and as I'm walking up, I put on these gloves. I meant to bring them, but they're just normal looking gloves.
They're
disposable gloves.
They're nitrile gloves.
Nitrile?
Yeah.
Okay. They're nitrile gloves, and I put them on, and I use that to open up the lockbox and to handle the key because it's a hard surface, and the little bug lives longer on the key than anywhere else, and I pop open the door. I ask our clients to put their hands in their pockets so they don't accidentally touch stuff as they go through. And as we're going through, I'll open doors and stuff because I have the gloves on for people to see, and we just communicate. So it's a little bit more interactive with me when we're looking at homes because I don't want you to have to touch anything, but it's worked out pretty well.
We're showing one group at a time. You're not showing multiple people. Keeping your physical distance. I found it interesting. Paul's like, the client keeps their hands in the pocket, and they're like, "Hey, can you open that cabinet? Yeah. Can you open that pantry door?" Yeah. Also, not going into small spaces. It's kind of funny. We'd all cram into a bathroom in the past and sort of look at the bathroom, and now you're sort of letting people go in
Yeah.
one at a time to look at those smaller spaces.
A little more space, a little
Yeah.
more waiting. It's not as fast as it was. You know, we used to do the speed dating for homes. I think
It takes a little longer now.
I think that'll be paused because we need to open up doors and stuff. Of course, you can eliminate as fast as you like, but we are open for business, and we're eager to help people who
we're not
who
doing
need to
as
buy and
much
sell.
sharing cars now
Yeah.
we've got Clorox wipes and we're wiping handles and steering wheels and knobs and things like that after
Yeah.
those showings and stuff like that, but showings can still go on for sellers. One more thing, I guess, for buyers. This is for buyers and sellers. Open houses.
Yeah.
Now the city of Austin is saying no gatherings in groups of 10 or more. We have had really good success. Lyndon, you want to say hi and then go cough off screen?
She does.
This is Lyndon. So anyway, for those that have,
She just has a regular cold.
we don't know that.
I believe she just has a regular cold. I'm pretty confident.
So anyway, not communicable via the internet that we know.
You guys are okay.
Yeah, we may not be, but you're good. Speaking of showings, now everybody's gonna be like, virtual, please. Thank you. I'll just keep my distance, Paul. But open houses. So with the city of Austin limiting limiting gatherings to 10 or fewer, we've had a lot of success with our open houses where we can sometimes have 20, 30, 50 people coming through. And so we are not going to be doing any open houses where we encourage large groups to come through. And we would just caution anybody who's out there that there are ways to look at these houses or to let us show you and do the virtual tours without you having to go out in person and house hop. And like while we have normally done our weekly buyer's bulletin on Fridays where we talk about the open houses and make it easy for you to do your home searches, now we're kind of pivoting and we're not really sharing the open house list, but we will certainly share coming soons and exclusive listings and things like that so you can still get those.
We want to show you individually, one house at a time.
Yeah.
To me, that's really the responsible thing to do. It's a little bit more work, but that's okay. Like this is a health crisis, and we need to be careful.
The other thing I would say is for sellers is that, okay, are you going to put your house on the market? We talked to our seller from France today, or you did, and moving forward, we're still going to be able to get eyeballs on those. So like for us, we'll be doing virtual open houses. We'll be advertising the open house. We'll be telling people to log on at a particular time, and we'll be having a virtual open house where you do that tour for people and walk them through. Yep. People can ask questions in real time again, and you'll be able to answer those for anybody that's interested in looking at the property and do those walkthrough tours.
We're going to be a lot more digital.
Yeah. The other thing that I think is a little interesting is that we have always done video marketing for our listings. So if you ever look at any of our listings, we are always doing a property tour video, and we do a 3 favorite things video with a professional videographer, and we're going to continue to do that with our listings. I think it will be interesting. There are a lot of realtors that have never done that. We actually have the team and the infrastructure to make sure that those homes get represented on video, very high quality, very high level, and we will continue to be doing that. And so we're also going to be adding the Matterport or the 3D scans to any listings so that, again, people can view those. It's a really cool thing if you're not familiar with it. Like it kind of looks through walls and you can move through the spaces.
You could just walk through with your keyboard. It's amazing.
That's pretty cool.
It's really
yeah. So that's other stuff we'll be doing on the marketing to make it easy for people to see your house, and we're still going to be putting money behind it in terms of digital advertising. So as people are out looking, less likely to be looking at things in person, we'll still be putting things out there and putting advertising money behind it so that people can increase the chance that they're going to see your house virtually. Also, if you're showing your home and you're having people come through, you obviously want to take some precautions to be safe and to keep your home clean and to not make it to be a dangerous place for you. So one of the things one of our stagers that we use regularly, which is Lynn Ray from Mambo, had some
Lynn, is she in here?
Not today.
I can't tell.
Had some great suggestions that we wanted to share. One is put your hand sanitizer by the front door. Put a sign up that says, to protect the homeowners and everyone that enters here, please use the hand sanitizer and avoid touching personal items. This is a great time to continue to put things away and make it less likely for people to want to
I thought those were good
touch
tips.
your things. Leaving the doors open so that the buyers don't touch handles. There are no rules about how this goes down. Paul's opening doors for his clients and wearing gloves, but that doesn't mean that anybody that walks through the door is going to be doing the same thing. So what you can do is you can leave your pantry door ajar, leave the bathroom doors open, leave things open so that people are less likely to have to touch your handles and your knobs.
They probably don't want to, but I got
people are taking it different. There's different levels of seriousness.
While I was out there showing homes, I saw people hugging, shaking hands, like just business as normal. I was a little bit of an outcast, I think, with my gloves on.
Yeah, but by the next day, you saw more agents wearing gloves for showings. Like, it was changing.
I had one come and ask me, like, where'd you get your gloves?
Yeah.
And of course, I said to my wife.
Turn on all the lights and open the drapes, right? So you don't want people touching your light switches. And you can also put a sign that says, please leave the lights on, or do not turn the lights off when you leave. So they're less likely to touch the switches and turn the blinds up and down.
You want a touchless house.
Yeah, pretty much.
Preferably, but...
Pretty much. Other things that you can do, obviously, is then once you get home, use disinfectants on all the handles, the knobs, countertops, light switches, and anything that it looks like someone might have touched or moved. This was one that Lynn had that I thought was interesting, in that, like, if you're worried also about having to clean the bathrooms, that, like, you put the toilet seat down and you fold the little toilet paper into that little V shape at the end, and that way if that toilet seat's changed or if the toilet paper's no longer, you'll know if someone used the restroom, so you can also take care to clean those surfaces
that is
as well.
just sneaky spycraft. That's really cool.
Tips from an experienced stager. Yeah. So anyway, those are things. I mean, it's different, right? But for now, those are some of the things that we're doing, and we're definitely will keep people advised. We feel for everybody. We're a local business owner, just like the restaurants, just like the people that are driving for Uber and Lyft and working at those restaurants and all those things. And, we're still working. We've got to pay the bills. You need to go sit somewhere else. Thank you. We've got to pay the bills just like everybody else does. Yeah. And so we're working, and we know a lot of people need to continue to, buy and sell. Like, you're moving your job, your life is changing. Maybe you need to tap the equity in that house to get through this uncertain time. So we're here, and we're going to continue to evolve and continue to adapt. And there are some good news pieces here and there. Was there anything else you wanted to add?
No. Well, I didn't get to tell you about this earlier, but
I've already read it.
Ryan shared a.
It's actually John Selby.
Oh, John! I saw the ship. Yeah, that was a typo.
No, another friend of ours.
Like there, and I'll share it later on my page for anybody that follows me. But there's
my concern is I don't know how valid some of this is.
Well, I don't either. But in China, they're already opening up Apple stores. That's a good sign to me. Maybe this cold comes and goes. But anyway, there is good news out there, and I'll share it. I won't read it all. Yeah,
but there things are changing. We're kind of entering the rough spot now in the U.S. But if you're watching it globally, the thing that's going to be interesting is that we're going to adapt. We're adaptable people as a human race, and we will continue to adapt, and we will continue to do it. And
it's all going to be fine.
And I'm going to get really good at homeschooling.
It's gonna be fine. We'll all figure it out, and we'll get there. This will pass, guys.
And when we get better, and this is gonna be a good homeschooling student.
This is my super handsome son there.
Maybe. Yeah. When we get to the point that we start seeing some real data, we will share with you the stats, right? Like the things like days on market, how many I did.
DAP he did.
Yes, I'm ignoring it. You're not. When we get the data, we will be sharing with you the data that we get about how the market's shifting now that it's in Travis County. Like, are we seeing a decrease in sales and those kinds of things? But it's premature. That kind of information isn't out there yet. But once it is out there, we will certainly start sharing that with you guys.
It'll be an interesting to see how March shows up and the stats. I think that'll be where we'll really first see it, and then as we go on. But stay tuned. If you guys have questions or want to talk or strategize, we're here.
Absolutely.
And we're excited to talk, even if nothing comes of it. Like you can always call me or.
Yeah, we had somebody reach out to you for a second opinion. They're working with the relo agent, and yesterday that you were like, "I'm happy to give you a second opinion."
Yeah, really,
you know, sure.
It's a big time, and
we're all in this together.
Yeah, we're in this together, and I'm happy to help whoever out.
So you guys, we're here if you need us. Stay safe out there. Take care of yourselves. Stay healthy. We are fans of social distancing because we do think that's the socially responsible thing to do. We know not everybody agrees, but
we don't have to social distance in the house.
Oh no, we're all the germs right here, shared. All right, you guys reach out if we can do anything, and we'll see you next week. We will continue doing these on a weekly basis. Take care.